guys don't know me, my name is Jade, and at the moment I'm doing weekly pregnancy updates. Woo! But I also do a lot of other stuff on my channel too. Today I'm doing my 33-week pregnancy update. Whew. So if you haven't seen the last update, you need to go back and watch that one because it's very relevant to this one. It has been another kind of crazy, full-on busy week. Lots of appointments. There was a hospital visit for myself. Everything's okay, thankfully, but just a lot. So in the start of the week, I did have a midwife appointment, and I didn't really ask her that many questions because I knew I had another OB appointment at the hospital coming up later in the week. So I was just like, I'll just kind of save my questions for then. She just, did the usual Doppler, measure, how you feeling, what's going on, and that was pretty much it. So it was just kind of, basic P-test and blood pressure as well. So that was all fine. As I said, didn't really go over any of the scan results because I had another OB appointment later in the week. For that actual OB appointment, it wasn't with my usual OB, it was at the hospital. So it was just, whoever was doing them that particular day, which was fine with me. I was just like, whatever. So again, I had like a little checkup with the midwife first. I had Hazel with me. Like it's so hard doing stuff with kids. I love her to bits and she's such a good girl and she's so helpful, but it's just so much harder and more time consuming getting in and out of the car and pram and all that kind of jazz. When I finally got in to see the OB, she again did measurements, felt baby, did the Doppler, and we're basically talking about the results. And she said, so it's 2 centimeters away, your placenta, even though technically it's 1.8 centimeters. But she's like, okay, 2 centimeters away, that's fine. You're all clear to have a vaginal birth. And I was like, okay. Yeah, no, that's completely fine. What we'll do is we'll have another scan at 35 weeks, see where it is, and then, kind of do weekly scans from there on. And internally, I'm just like, I personally don't feel 2 centimeters away for me, given my history, given the miscarriage, given I hemorrhaged after Hazel was born and there was 0 placenta issues. I was like, I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't think that's far enough away. Pretty much all the guidelines I've seen have been saying that ideally they want it 4 centimeters away, ideally. And speaking to you guys and hearing your feedback, so many of you have said I was given the all clear, that it was away, just enough. And then I ended up with a massive hemorrhage, and then I ended up with an emergency C-section, or baby needed to be revived, or we both almost died. And I don't want that. And I know that there are plenty of success stories out there as well, and plenty of people who have gone back and got, weekly scans and it's moved out of the way and it's been all sweet. But to me, with especially my OCD, like my OCD is intrusive thoughts, obsessing about them, not being able to get them out of your head, and your deepest, darkest fears just vividly playing out in your head. That is what my OCD is. And especially with this kind of thing, like it's just a constant, and I'm like, I can't, nah, done. And I've had this like gut instinct, as I mentioned, and even like my last video, I've had this gut instinct of C-section being the right option and not feeling 100% comfortable with the idea of a lady cake birth. And I even pulled tarot cards this morning and I was like, just reconfirming, and they're like, yeah, definitely C-section is the right option. But I was just frustrated with my appointment because it seemed like they were blowing me off. It seemed like they were like, just don't think about it, just don't stress. We'll do this other scan and then we'll keep doing scans, and and I'm just like, I am keen for a C-section. Just, we'll do your next scan and we'll see. I'm like, for fuck's sake. So I have decided to do my next scan, which is 35 weeks. It will be another internal, and they wanted me to do internal ones weekly thereafter. They're $240 a pop. I mean, I know you can get some bulk billed ones, but this place, they're really good. I feel comfortable going there, especially for internals, but it's just pricey. I really felt like they were just blowing me off, that they weren't really keen. And she did say, you know, do you have questions? And I was like, well, yes. I said, you know, if it does end up being a C-section, which it will, because that's what I'm aiming for, I am really keen on the idea of a maternal-led cesarean. And she goes, no, that's not gonna happen. She said there used to be one doctor in Perth that did it, but he's since stopped doing it. And basically her reasoning was they can't ensure correct sanitization or correct sterilization, I guess, of me. And I was like, you know, even if I scrub up properly and like however many pairs of gloves, and she's like, we just, no. I was like, okay. And she said, you know, the surgical team would be extremely unhappy with you. I was like, well, can I talk to the surgical team? And she's just like, so I was like, okay. So my request will be, you know, delayed cord clamping. Of course, if baby's healthy, delayed cord clamping, I would like as soon as possible, if not immediate, skin to skin. I know sometimes with baby's lungs, they have to do a bit of rubbing and stuff with a C-section. And I'd like to maintain skin to skin if I can, while, you know, I'm getting stitched back up and stuff like that. So I am thinking of actually writing those out, having them in my bag, like my hospital bag, saying this is what I would like for my C-section. I know it's funny because I had like a birth plan with Hazel. I remember doing it up. And then once I found out I was induced, I'm like, oh fuck, everything's out the window. But I think with a planned C-section, it's more, you can still customize it. Of course, if you don't go into labor early and everything's all sweet. So I do want to actually have those requests written down. I want to have my camera in there. I want to film. I want to have the screen lowered. Like, yeah, I just want to have those very clearly written out. So I'm going to hopefully do that and have that all sorted. I know, you know, shit can go up, shit can hit the fan and stuff, but, you know, at least it's there, it's clear and concise, and everyone knows. Of course, I'll be mentioning this to them multiple times beforehand, but you know. So anyway, in order to have my 35-week scan, I needed a referral. The midwife said she could give me one, but then that's not covered by Medicare, so you don't get a rebate. So the rebate's $90, I think. So then I had to get another appointment with my actual OB to get this referral. So thankfully I actually called the doctors right after the hospital, and they're like, oh, he's just had a cancellation, you can come in today. He's notorious for running late. So I arrived half an hour late for my appointment, and I still ended up waiting an hour and a half, I think, with Hazel. So that was just, whew. And he pretty much mimicked what the doctor at the hospital said was, oh, 2 centimeters is fine. I was like, well, you know, I'm keen for a C-section. Oh, we'll just, you know, we'll do your next scan. And then he's like, why do they want you to do the scan then? Like, your placenta's not going to have moved within, you know, those 3-4 weeks. I'm like, well, he's like, oh, and you know, then you can do weekly scans. And I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I am, yeah, as I said, going to do my 35-week scan, go back, say, look, this is a scan, this is what you wanted, this is the results. I'm putting my foot down, I want a C-section. I want you to book me in, let's do it. Because honestly, in my opinion, either it's 100% out of the way and there's no issues with it, or it's still there. I don't like the, you could have a lady cake birth, it should be okay. I'm like, can you 100% guarantee me that me and baby will be healthy and happy and not hemorrhage and not suffocate and not die? No, of course you can't. So I'm going the safest route. Anyway, that's just been, I feel like they almost caused me to second guess myself a bit, or I was like drawn back into limbo of like, what the fuck's going on? but I've reconfirmed, and you know, I still have that feeling that C-section's the right thing to do, so that's what I'm going to do. And I know recovery is going to suck. It's going to probably be painful. I've heard things like there's a big difference from having a planned C-section in terms of recovery as opposed to laboring for hours and then having an emergency C-section. Like, that recovery is so much tougher. Rain is pissing down if you can hear it. Getting to my notes, how I've been feeling. Indigestion's a bitch. I've been swelling. My feet, ankles, obviously every time I do a pee test when I go to the doctors, they test for like protein preeclampsia. My BP's been fine. But like the other day, all here, I took photos, was swollen and tight. Like the skin was so tight, it was so itchy, and my veins were just popping, and I'm just been like, oh my God. And also my left foot has been extremely sore, just basically in the arch of the foot. And I know that can happen, all the tendons moving and like your feet almost flattening and the pressure and the weight. But I have booked in to see a podiatrist. So, because literally come about 12 o'clock, I can almost not walk. I can almost not put pressure on my left foot. It sucks. And it's painful. It just really hurts. Or I feel like I'm rolling my feet out so I can try and walk still and not have pressure on that area. My belly button has popped out. It's been popped out for a little while, I think. Pretty much finalizing my hospital bag. I have just a few more things to go in there, but it's pretty much all sorted, and I will be doing a video on it for you guys as well. Also, when I did have a look at my 32-week scan results, they did somehow be able to weigh baby or give me like an estimate of baby's weight, which that's insane that they can do that. So baby is currently apparently 2.5 kilos and in the 75th percentile for size. So that just makes me reconfirm, thank God it's a cesarean, because my poor lady cake after that. So I think 2.5 kilos, I'm just looking it up, that is 5.5 pounds. I think Hazel was 7 pounds. She was 3.4 kilos. Anyway, but yeah, I've been really crampy, back pain, just again sore. I've been emotional. I've been crazy. Like, I had a fight with Lee about, I can't even remember. Like, I thought I misread what he was saying, and I just took it and ran with it. And it was just an emotional wreck. And then Lee's like, that's not what I meant. And I'm like, yeah. But Lee's been amazing. He's got flexible work hours now. So he's able to work from home 2 days a week and the rest of the time in the office. So it's just been such a help, because I'm definitely in struggle town. I'm definitely finding it really hard, especially with Hazel and not, you know, being able to lift her and just trying to even get through the day. It's just hard. We did take her sling off and her arm is doing really good. She's at daycare today. Fuck 'em. We pay for it. She hasn't complained of pain at all for weeks. So we'll just see how she goes today. We haven't heard anything so far, so far so good. I really hope my camera's in focus. I can't even see. Yes, hospital visit. So not yesterday, the day before. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was changing the sheets on the bed, or I was doing something, and I felt this rip, like this tearing, ripping sensation on my lower left-hand side of my stomach, like low, like near the groin kind of. And I was like, oh, that's like my face. Ooh. And I kind of was like leaning and trying to catch my breath. I'm like, holy fuck, that hurt. I was like, maybe it's just ligament pain, or, you know, I was like, oh God. But it didn't go away. You know, normally with round ligament pain and stuff, it goes away. But this was like, I could not sleep on my left-hand side. It was so painful. The whole next day was just really dull ache in that whole area. But then every time baby would move in that area, it was like someone was literally ripping it further open or stabbing me. And I was like, oh my God. It was quite painful. And thankfully it only was lasting a second or so, like when baby moved into that area. But oh my God. So I did call the hospital earlier in the morning saying, look, this is what's happened. This is what I'm feeling. I feel like there's something in my eye, but I can't actually see what it is. They said, put a heat pack on it, have some Panadol, just see how you go and call us back. If it's still the same or if you're not feeling baby as much, call us back. So that afternoon, I'd had Panadol, I'd done heat packs, I'd laid down, I'd rested, and it was still painful. It wasn't like if I moved it was sore, it was like just constantly sore. And then when baby was in that area, or if I did move a certain way, it made it a lot worse. So I did call them back, and I hadn't felt baby that much that day. I felt baby, but not as consistent. So they're like, righto, come in, and we'll just check that everything's okay. And they were incredible. Greeted me at the door, knew my name, like knew I was coming in. They were lovely. Hazel was there with Lee. So that was pretty full on, but they were amazing. That was just awesome. And they hooked me up to like the heart rate monitor for baby and on my finger, and gave me a thing to click every time baby moved. So they just wanted to try and see that, you know, baby had a consistent heart rate. Baby wasn't waking up. So we tried juice, and then they actually gave me some ice water, and that did the trick to get baby moving, so I could like click when they were moving. I did notice on the ECG like the baby's heart rate was all over the place, but then it was one of these little things that rest on top of your stomach, so not sure if that was just like the inconsistency of that. But I was on there for quite a while, maybe an hour or so. The midwife then like took it to the doctor, gave the doctor a call, got the results, and they're like, yeah, you know, we think you've just torn a muscle. It sounds like you have. Baby seems all healthy, all fine, so you know, you're okay to go. So they did give me those things for the monitors. So I've got those ready for, you know, next time. And they also gave me this belly band that I'm wearing at the moment to give me some support. So it's just like a stretchy kind of compression in a way type thing, just to help support my belly. But even today it's still sore in certain spots, so it's definitely, it like literally felt like I ripped muscle off the bone, or my placenta or uterus had like ripped up. Like it was definitely like a tearing, ripping sensation, but obviously like no bleeding, nothing like that. So, but yeah, other than that, I've been, doing all right. I think definitely slowing down. I'm more emotional, I'm more short-tempered, I'm more exhausted, and just like, I feel like this is definitely where the weeks start to get longer and like kind of drag out, because you just, it's hard. Like even me sitting here talking, I'm out of breath. Like just, I can't, like it's hard to bend over and pick something up off the ground. It's just, it's so I think if I do go in for planned C-section, 39 weeks they will do that. I'm 34 at the moment, so I've got 5 more weeks to go. Exciting. Anyway, I'll show you the band that they gave me. This is the band. It just goes up under here, and it's nice and stretchy, but just kind of to support. And like where I think I pulled the muscle was like right in this area here. Oh man, yeah. Anyway, rainbows, thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Hello. I just quickly wanted to jump on here and say that this week as well, I did have a milk bath photo shoot with the amazing Melanie from Lion Fox & Co, who's done all of our other shoots. She's just incredible. So where was I going with that? The makeup that I was wearing in this video was the makeup I wore in the shoot, and I will have some photos for you guys because I love them. There's going to be more up on my Instagram, so definitely check out my Insta as well if you want to see more. So